Hello guys, and welcome back to some Frosti-Town. Today we're gonna be modeling another sci-fi scene. So let me just turn these guys on. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a plane. We're gonna press S9 and we're gonna press Control Alt 0 and we're gonna press Shift and tilde and we're gonna bring it right about here. We're gonna press Shift D and we're gonna press G and Z, bring it up, press Ctrl A, apply scale, and we're gonna go into edit mode. We're gonna subdivide this by 100 and we're gonna go into modifiers tab. We're gonna give it a displace modifier. I'm gonna go into new. I'm gonna add clouds. I'm gonna increase the scale a little bit, bring this down, go into colors, mess with the contrast a little bit to right about here. We're gonna go into shadings tab and we're gonna select this guy. We're gonna bring it down and we're gonna go into light. I'm gonna give it 50. I'm gonna select this guy. I'm gonna create new. I'm gonna create a noise texture. We're gonna create a color ramp, plug the factor into the factor, color into the normal. I'm gonna create a mix RGB. I'm gonna plug this one into the roughness, plug the color into the color, and we're gonna multiply this. Come on. And I'm gonna connect the color into the base color. So we have something like this. I'm gonna go here and we're gonna create a bump node. I'm gonna plug the normal into the normal and we're gonna create a color ramp, plug the color into the height, and we're gonna create a noise texture, plug the factor into the factor, and we're gonna bring this down a bit. Go into base color, bring this down. Bring the detail up. We're gonna press Ctrl T. I'm gonna put the object into the vector. I'm gonna bring the detail a bit down. And I'm gonna bring the distortion a bit upwards like this. And we'll bring the scale down a bit. Let's see how this looks. Alright, so we have done the basics. Now the next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna create Shift A, and we're gonna go into layout. For Shift A, we're gonna create a cylinder RY90, and we're gonna scale down the x-axis right about there. We're gonna delete this face, and we're gonna delete this face, and we're gonna go back into object mode, and we're gonna apply a solidify, bring it a bit upwards right about there, apply this, and we're gonna go into rendered mode, and we're gonna add a emission, and we're gonna give it 15, and we're gonna give it a little bluish color, and we're gonna bring it up right about here, and we're gonna press Shift D, and we're gonna scale it up to right about here. We're gonna go into our light, and we're gonna delete our light. We're gonna go into world settings and bring it down, so we have something like this. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna press Shift A, and we're gonna create a area light, and we're gonna rotate it to right about here, bring it here, press Shift D, bring it here, rotate it right about here, I'm gonna bring it right about here, bring it up. Now select this guy, bring it right about here, bring it up. So we're gonna go into area light 1, and we're gonna give it 50, and we're gonna give it a bit of reddish color, bring it up, bring it close, give it 50, and give it a bit of bluish color, and bring it close. We're gonna press Shift D, we're gonna bring this up. We're gonna press Shift D, we're gonna bring this up. We're gonna select the vector, put it into the vector, take the factor into the factor, and plug the color into the roughness. So we have something like this, and we're gonna bring down the distortion a bit, bring down the detail, right about there. I'm gonna save this. We can give this a different color, like an orange one. Let's add a bump node, plug the normal to the normal, plug the color into the height, bring the detail up, and bring it right about here. Bring the scale a bit backwards to right about there. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna import an FBX. You can download this from Mixamo, which is completely free. And we're gonna add a kneeling pose. And I'm gonna rotate him to right about here. I'm gonna scale him down. And I'm gonna bring him backwards. I'm gonna scale him down a bit to right about here. We're going to import another FBX. And rotate him around. And scale him down. Bring him right about there. Let's see how this looks. Looks good, but let's add an area light. Bring it right about here and give it an orange color. Save this. Add an empty. Bring him right about here. Scale it down. Bring it right about here. Then we're gonna go into camera and go into depth of field. I'm gonna select the empty and we're gonna bring it down a bit to right about there. We're gonna select the empty and we're gonna bring it right about here. So there you go guys, your sci-fi environment is complete. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, Frosti-Town signing out, and as always, stay frosty.